today with this insane story about the Mar-A-Lago raid that everyone's talking about. And this is insanity to a whole new level. They're treating Merrick Garland and Biden. They did that Mar-A-Lago raid like Trump was bin Laden or David Koresh. And it really says a lot about how they view Trump and the MAGA people. So that's what I'm going to lead with today. And that's a pretty big and important story, no doubt about it. Okay. Oh, man, I'm not quite ready.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio. And, man, do we have a lot to cover on today's show. Holy smokes. A story broke yesterday that is so massive. This has been the biggest week of news stories that we've seen in a long time. And this story that broke late in the day yesterday on the Mar-A-Lago raid is the most frightening story I have ever heard about the way that this government operates under this senile old corrupt coot, Joe Biden. And we're going to break this down, talk about it, take your calls. There's quite a few things to cover on the program today, but the main thing we're going to start with, without question, is the Mar-A-Lago raid story. And if you're not familiar with it, don't blame yourself. The media is trying to suppress it. In fact, the White House is in a panic right now. Last night, they put Comey out on TV to try to do some diversions. They have two other stories so far that they're trying to use to hijack the media narrative. One of them is they found another document, a box of classified documents after the raid at Mar-A-Lago in Trump's bedroom. I can think of no place more secure and the most secure location in America than Trump's bedroom at Mar-A-Lago. But then at around 5 a.m. this morning, crazy time, the White House announced some other big student loan debt relief thing that they're doing. And that, of course, is another attempt to hijack the news cycle from this story. Here's the headline. FBI was authorized and prepared to use deadly force in the Trump Mar-A-Lago documents raid. You heard me right. Authorized and prepared to use deadly force. Now, I love Trump. You guys know that. No matter what you think of Trump, I don't understand why everyone doesn't love the guy. I really don't. But even those that don't, this guy was president of the United States. He's a president. Why were they authorized to use deadly force on a raid at the home of a president of the United States? FBI was authorized and prepared to use deadly force in Trump Mar-A-Lago raid. Explosive new details of the Mar-A-Lago classified files probe are revealed. I mean, this is nuts. President Trump has commented on this. And I posted let me pull up what President Trump said, then we'll go through the story. And I very much want to hear your calls on this as well at 1-888-465-2631. But this authorization of deadly force in the Mar-A-Lago raid, it tells you a lot about how these evil doers behind the lawfare view Trump and MAGA. This raid at Mar-A-Lago was authorized personally by Joe Biden. We know this. A document came out a week or so ago from Judge Cannon's courtroom here in Florida in Fort Pierce on the documents case. The Mar-A-Lago documents were also signed by the raid documents, the warrant signed by Merrick Garland. So Joe Biden and Merrick Garland both authorized the use of deadly force in the Mar-A-Lago raid. President Trump posted this on Truth Social. Wow, I just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial in Manhattan, the icebox, that's what they call the courtroom, the icebox, and was shown reports that crooked Joe Biden's Department of Justice and their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-A-Lago authorized the FBI to use deadly, lethal force. Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is mentally unfit to hold office. 25th Amendment. Now, under what scenario would they need to use any force, not to mention lethal, deadly force in the Mar-A-Lago raid? Did they, Mar-a-Lago is a fortress. It is a literal fortress. It is surrounded by a very high wall. On two sides, it has water, so it's got two moats. It's a fortress. Around it, there's massive security by the Secret Service. And if you ever go inside, especially when the president's there, there's an army inside there of Secret Service, both uniformed and the plainclothes Secret Service. What were they thinking? Why did they authorize deadly force? Well, there's a lot of things that it could be, but they view Donald Trump. I want you to think about this. Merrick Garland and Joe Biden signed off on this. Their signatures are on the documents for the raid. Biden signed the document authorizing the break-in raid of Mar-a-Lago. Merrick Garland signed the search warrants, and on the search warrant is where deadly lethal force was authorized, and he signed it. This isn't, don't let them tell you that this is just standard protocol. This raid, forgetting about the merits of the raid itself, which it was wrong, inappropriate, disgusting, breaking into the home of the leader of the political opposition. We know what it was. It was like a Vladimir Putin shakedown going on here. But forgetting about that aspect of it, okay, this was a historic thing that happened, something that's never happened before. A raid, a search of a home of a president of the United States. And that raid on Mar-a-Lago was massive. It wasn't just a couple of agents who knocked on the door at the gate. It was a massive detachment of federal agents in the raid, and they even had, I understand, air support, and they had boats in the water, which is really frightening because there's already boats in the water from the Secret Service all the time. And even when Trump is not there, there's Secret Service all over the place. Outside, too. So it tells you, they're going to tell you all day long if they're forced to report it. They're trying to get off of it, but they're going to, this is just standard protocol. Nothing about a search warrant on the home of a president of the United States is standard. Okay? It was a historical event, historically disgusting and outrageous, but a pretty major event. Nothing about it was business as usual, so don't buy that crap. What it tells me is that they view Donald Trump, and when I say they, I'm talking about the uniparty, the media, the deep state, Biden, Merrick Garland, everybody, the establishment. They view Trump like Osama bin Laden, David Koresh, Ruby Ridge. I mean, what did they think was going to happen? Did they think that his Secret Service detail are so loyal to him that they would defy it? And if they didn't, what would happen? Let's say the Secret Service wouldn't let them in to do a search, which, by the way, they could have done. They could. I knocked over my coffee cup, but I have these special coffee cups that don't leak. Every radio station should have them. If I didn't have the no-leak coffee cups, there'd be coffee all over the control panel. But I've got the special cups. Paid extra for them. Just for that one time, it came in handy. If the Secret Service would not have let them in, which they could not have done, if they didn't want to let them in, they wouldn't let them in. There's other avenues to go to when you're dealing with the President of the United States. So were they going to draw their weapons on the Secret Service? Did Merrick Garland and these monsters, did they tell themselves that the Secret Service was going to turn Mar-A-Lago into the Alamo and there was going to be a siege, or there was going to be an FBI standoff like at Ruby Ridge or in Waco, Texas? What were they expecting? What did they want to happen? This is one of the most frightening things I have ever heard. Let me tell you. You know, remember that feeling you had on 9/11? That's what this feels like in many ways. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. I want to hear your thoughts on this at 1-888-465-2631. On another note, almost 2 full days ago, this is also something that's not being reported. What is Biden telling us that we're doing with our support of Ukraine? What are they telling us we're doing? We're supporting democracy. We're supporting freedom. Really? 2 days ago, Zelensky's term as president of Ukraine ended. That's right. Zelensky has suspended all elections during the war, and when Blinken was over there last week, they even expanded it to say they will not have an election in Ukraine until all Ukrainians can vote in it. Well, a big chunk of Ukraine is occupied by Russian forces, so the Russians aren't going to allow voting in the Ukrainian election in the occupied areas of Ukraine. So that means unless Russia retreats completely from Ukraine, which ain't happening, they're not going to have an election. Right now, I want you to think about this. In this country, the sitting president of the United States not only authorized a raid and break-in of a home of a president of the United States who is running against him in the election, but he authorized the use of deadly force during that break-in of the leader of the political opposition's home, the president, of course, at Mar-A-Lago. Right now, Zelensky is running Ukraine, having suspended elections. He has finished his term. He is now in a second term that he's not been elected to, which I don't know. Maybe you know. Is that martial law? I know Putin just was reelected. They just had his inauguration a couple weeks ago. I don't know how elections work in Russia. I don't care. But I know this. Zelensky's term is over. He suspended elections. How's that democracy? I know in this country, the sitting president of the United States signed off, and the Attorney General signed off on a raid and break-in and search of the home of the leader of the political opposition, Donald Trump, and authorized lethal deadly force if necessary to get a half of a box of documents out of Mar-A-Lago that they could have just handed them through the gate. So where's the democracy? Where's the freedom? Is this Russia? Is America a gulag now? You tell me. It's hard to believe that these things are even happening. I cannot believe what I'm talking about here. That is real. This sounds like some movie. All right, our number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. Do we have any Ukraine war supporters out there? I'd like to hear someone tell me why it's okay for Zelensky to remain in power after his term expired 2 days ago. We had elections in this country. During the Civil War, there was an election. The damn Democrats leading the Confederacy put up a candidate. They had a convention and everything. If we could have an election during the Civil War, they certainly can have an election in Ukraine during the Russian war, right? Why not? All right. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. I am going to break down the details of the Mar-A-Lago raid story beyond the headline, and we'll talk about it as the show goes on. My name's Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Completely insane. Completely insane. Call me on the air. I want to hear your thoughts on this, guys. But why? Control what you say. I mean, this is complete insanity. Complete insanity. We're in a new era right now, guys. A new era. And I don't quite even understand it. I really don't. I really don't. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. I'm still getting set up. We came on a little before I was ready. I was setting some things up before the show. Still getting set up. We came on a little before I was ready. Great. Just checking the audio. Setting some things up before the show. Still getting set up. We came on a little before I was ready. Let's see, where am I? Okay.
Brands. We also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as health and beauty aids, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa.
And this is nuts. It really is scary.
For all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmine's Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week at Nutrition World, Palm Beach Gardens.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low. Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive?
I'm just setting everything up. I usually have all this stuff set up before the show, but a little behind this morning.
With Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies.
All right, we are in a different world today, friends. We're talking about this authorization of deadly force in the Mar-A-Lago raid, something we've never encountered before. Our number one, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I want to tell you the great deals at MyPillow.com continue. The $25 extravaganza continues, as well as incredible deals site-wide, beyond even that, on some of the top MyPillow products. I'm going to tell you about the MyPillow towels. You know, the 6-piece MyPillow towel set's part of the $25 extravaganza. It comes with a special cotton that is ring-spun cotton that make the towels softer and more absorbent than any towels you've ever had. You know, I spilled a 16-ounce cup of coffee on my tile floor. I grabbed the MyPillow towel, threw it over, and boom. It took care of the whole thing. So absorbed, the entire 16-ounce cup of coffee was absorbed by the MyPillow towel. It was absolutely amazing. I picked it up, and the tile floor was dry. I carried it out to the laundry room, and it held the coffee. It didn't drip all the way to the laundry room. I couldn't believe these towels are amazing. And they're part of the $25 extravaganza. They come in many different colors. It's a 6-piece towel set. Go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code KANE at checkout. K-A-N-E. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Hey, Richie, what's up?
Yeah, well, we've been accused of insurrection, and meanwhile, they have authorized execution of a former president. That was an authorization that if they resisted, kill them. That's
or anyone else there. I mean, what? Yeah, they tossed Melania's closet in Barron's room. What if they were there and resisted? Who authorized? I mean, what were they thinking when they authorized it? It was Biden and Merrick Garland. What were they thinking?
Well, they're trying to put President Trump in prison for the rest of his life. What do you think? This government is the regime. It's not Biden is a dementia case, but whoever's running this, life means nothing to them. They'll go after, they'll do anything to stop Trump. I mean, he better get. I'm telling you, this is really disgusting. I don't even know how the words can't come out of my mouth. How this is terrible. Never. If they wanted to go into your home, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Deadly.
And let me pull up this audio. I want to play this. This was Comey, the fired FBI director. Comey went on TV last night. Let me pull this up, and he went on MSNBC. Okay, here's Comey. Listen.
You concerned that it may get attacked?
Now I want to say that Comey went on MSNBC after this story broke of the authorization of deadly force on the Mar-A-Lago raid.
Are you concerned that it may get a test unlike any other if Donald Trump is reelected? I mean, when you think about a second Trump administration, what do you think the implications would be for the FBI?
Oh, serious, for the Justice Department and the FBI, because Trump is coming for those institutions. He knows their power, and I think he has regrets that he didn't work hard enough to corrupt them last time. So he's coming for them, and that's a danger for all Americans. He's going to put people in positions in those organizations. He didn't have all-stars the last time. He'll have the bottom of the barrel this time, but people who will want to do his will, and that should worry every American. This election matters because of a reason like that. People have to participate. You cannot sit on the sideline. I don't care how you feel about Joe Biden, you must vote for him because the consequences on the other side are too severe.
Okay. Yeah, so, and this, this is after, of course he's going to go after them because they authorized deadly force on his home.
Exactly. Deadly force on him.
Yeah, and his family.
This is beyond. They went into the Supreme Court with this last case of President Trump immunity, and one of the examples were, well, what if the president, what if he wanted to take out his political enemy, and he said, well, our side said we would never do something like that. These people, whatever they tell you that Trump is doing, they're doing it to us. This is the closest. I mean, I got to watch what I say at the radio station.
Yes, please.
I have never in my life, I don't know anybody that can support this. To go when their guns are blazing, if anybody's and it's over documents that President Biden had all over the place.
And by the way, if you noticed, classified documents, they haven't told us what they relate to. Like, anything could be classified. A recipe could be classified. Were these some schematics to some top secret stealth plane that China could? You understand what I mean? If these classified documents were sensitive and a security risk to the nation, they wouldn't tell you what they are. They're classified, but they would tell you what they relate to. Like, is it a list of spies in China, in North Korea? Nothing like that.
No, and that's not standard operating procedure for the FBI to go in to raid a home, which is not just a normal home. They're not going into, you mentioned Ruby Ridge. They're not going into Ruby Ridge. They're going into basically the second White House. That's like,
yes.
When Biden goes on his vacations, he goes, I forgot where it is, he goes somewhere out.
Delaware. Camp David.
That's like giving lethal force to go into Camp David.
And by the way, I wouldn't support them doing this on any of the past presidents. I mean, this is. You know how dangerous that is. What they did.
Do that to a dog, unless you're going after a drug dealer or a murderer. I've never heard anything.
And Comey, you know, and I'm so. You got to be cool today, guys, when you're talking about sensitive topics like this. Just to, you know, Richie's behaving. But at 5 o'clock, they dropped this story about more student debt relief, right? That's to try to get the news cycle off the raid, right? They got some other thing. Oh, they found some other classified documents after the raid in Trump's bedrooms. That's to try to get off this deadly force thing. There should be a government shutdown over this. I mean, this is the tyranny that we're living in.
They should have hearings up on Capitol Hill, not go away from Memorial Day weekend. They should drag them in there immediately and say what is going on in this country.
Yeah, Memorial Day weekend should be canceled. Memorial Day. This is a national crisis right now.
It's a crisis. People don't realize this. This is one administration putting a hit on it.
Yeah.
Another administration.
Did they think? Now listen. The Trumps were not there, but they could have been there. They could have been. They were not there. But yeah, maybe. But you know, what if the Secret Service would have said you can't come in? What would they have done? Would they have drawn their guns? And when they did the raid of Mar-A-Lago, you guys got to remember, they went in with SWAT gear, military-like weaponry. It was not like, you know, Glocks. It was like rifles and stuff.
They try to hide this. They try to hide it. You know.
Yeah.
That female reporter went after. How can they try to hide that?
Yeah. Why did we just find out about this now?
Yeah. What else are they hiding?
Good question.
To stop Trump. They will do anything. This is not the United States I grew up in. I'm sorry.
This is not the United States that anyone grew up in. And you hear Comey. Well, his concern is not our country, not the republic, not our Constitution. It's the FBI's power. The FBI's power. Yeah. And in Comey's world, the American people are concerned about the future of the FBI. The people of this country want the FBI dissolved now.
The attack, so-called insurrection. No, the lethal force was not authorized. Only one person got killed, and no, they didn't say go. You know, I mean, you can't do what they try to do here. I can't. I have no words for it. This is awful.
It is. Richie, I got to run. I'm late for the break. Take care. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back right after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Pretty scary, people. It really is scary. Hang on if you're on hold. Hang on if you're on hold. I want to come in. What would they have done? It's right now.
It's a crisis. People don't realize it.
By the way, let me know in the chat, where's everyone located? Like what state, what country? Where are you located? Just curious where everyone's at this morning. Haven't asked that in a while. Oh yeah. There's video of everything. Video of it all. Virginia, Australia, Melbourne, Australia, Wyoming, Ohio, Hudson, Florida, Sweet, Missouri, Northern Kentucky, Chicago suburbs, Southern Ohio, Florida, Michigan, Southern West Virginia, Tar Heel State of North Carolina, the Bronx. You going to go to the rally? Central PA, North Carolina, New York City, welcome. Roswell, New Mexico, Northwest Illinois, Canada, Ontario, Canada. Sand Hills of North Carolina, Michigan, Netherlands, Florida, that's Florida, if you're wondering. Massachusetts, Ontario, New York, I think they meant to say. Cleveland, Georgia, Barnesville, Georgia, Cape Cod, Akron, North Carolina, Connecticut, Roswell, New Mexico. Is that another Roswell, New Mexico, or Roswell again? Waco, Texas. Birchwood, Tennessee. Yeah, Trump's going to do a event in the Bronx.
I buy all types of properties in any condition, any price range, and any situation. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I will even buy foreclosures and haunted houses. Woo! Do you own a vacant house or one that is trashed?
Absolutely amazing.
Great.
In one word, how would you describe this story that I'm talking about today? Sick, twisted, scary, frightening, like in a word. Tyranny. Ocala, California, South Carolina, Port Orange, Florida. Oh, hear this new commercial?
My pillow guy, Mike Lindell. Where is Mike? He is the greatest. First of all, he does make a great product, great pillows. I actually use them, believe it or not. He's been a supporter from day one. The My Pillow guy, thank you. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
As always, President Trump is right. The MyPillow is so good, even President Trump sleeps on one. Support Mike Lindell, President Trump, and the Steve Kane Show at the same time. Go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout for huge savings on MyPillow products. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
Hey, my True Oldies listeners, John Tesh here.
Isn't that a good commercial I put together there with the president? Pretty good one.
Trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number, 561-743-0999. Or even
yes,
simpler,
Ken, the New York rally is in play. Trump says it's going to happen.
Mention my name, John Tesh.
Trump says the New York rally is going to happen.
Call 561-743-0999. Or remember, go to JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, I just want to give a shout out to My Coffee. This is very important. Anybody that has any kind of acid reflux, if you try the low acidic coffee of My Coffee,
That's right, Bull Baby. They did.
I wasn't able to drink coffee for years, and I tried it.
Having some issues with YouTube today, so some glitchy issues. It's only showing like a little more than 200 in the chat, but there's actually over 1,600 right now. I get to see the back end. I don't know why it's just showing that, but it seems like the stream is working well. So other than that, the number watching live, it seems to all be working out well. By the way, please like the video. Like and share the video, guys. That helps so much grow the channel.
With our promo code KANE and check out KANE at MyPillow.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on...
Indeed, all right. All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We're talking about this massive revelation that Merrick Garland and Joe Biden authorized deadly and lethal force to be used by the FBI when they raided Mar-A-Lago. Crazy stuff. Let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Ronnie Big W, West Palm Beach.
Hey, Ronnie. I mean, this is a crazy day.
You know what, Brian? This is mind-blowing. But I didn't, I expected him to go all out on Trump the way he did. Because they have done the dirt, and they know that. And number one, like I pray that my president is listening. I say to him, be safe always. And when you get back in office, you have to literally destroy them and get them out. If you don't, they are going to destroy you because that is the game plan. They have done so much in this country in corruption. They are wicked. The bottom line, they are destroying everything that the founding fathers and we believe in as Americans.
Well, you got to ask yourself, to understand this, you got to try to think like them. And, and they view Donald Trump like he's Osama bin Laden. They think he is listen to that clip I played of Comey on MSNBC last night. They think he is a threat to this country.
No, he's scared because he knows he's done the dirt. His thing is to really make sure they are safe and secure. They have done the dirt. And that's why he's saying every Democrat out there, please run and save us. Save us. No, there is no safe haven because you have done the dirt and you must pay the price. The yin and the yang is one, and you cannot separate it. So they must pay the price. So they need to get themselves in line.
Well, what Richie said is true. Memorial Day weekend should be canceled, and there should be House hearings all weekend long, very specifically about this. We need to find out who knew about. Did anyone say, "Hey, this is a home of a president. This isn't a good idea"?
Biden is not the only one that is running this country. I'm going to put it like that. Deep within my heart and my feelings and what I see, he is not the only one that is running this country.
Yeah.
There are some silent people in the background that are really pushing the button.
Yep.
They were anticipating for this to be a big blow up and just, everybody go haywire crazy over this situation. They are creating the situations, and then they're saying, oh, here we are to straighten it out. They are not straightening it out. They're creating more.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to wake up and realize your future, your life, everything that you truly and really believe in, if you don't want it done to you, please don't do it to the other person because it's called the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
You're not going to escape it.
Yeah. I appreciate the call from West Palm. We're in an area we've never been in before. And it's a very scary place we're in. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
What they didn't expect is that when Jack Smith brought this case in Fort MAGA, to Fort MAGA, they didn't expect that the way it's set up with the judges in that particular area. You've said it before. This judge wasn't specifically picked, but it was a rotational thing, right? With this Cannon, right?
Yes.
They weren't expecting that, and this is all coming out of Judge Cannon's court, and Judge Cannon is doing a yeoman's job with what she's doing,
Oh yeah, all this stuff has come out through the documents case. Cause, we have one real judge, and we're getting truth out there.
Yes, and that's the thing. And don't get me started on Comey. Comey thinks he's a mixture of Elliot Ness, Bass Reeves, and Captain America. That's how delusional this guy is.
Well, when you listen to him, I'll play that audio again later, but they really think that this country is rallied around the FBI against Trump. They are out of touch with reality. And when Trump, I did not know that FBI directors had 10-year terms. They're appointed to 10-year terms. I did not know that until Trump fired Comey. I wondered why they lasted through different administrations. But because he fired Comey, which had never been done before of an FBI director, they're never going to leave him alone. That's out of everything Trump did that turned the permanent Washington class's world upside down, the firing of Comey is the one thing they'll never lay off of him because he did that.
Documents, so-called documents. You're right to say they were in one of the safest places on earth because I've seen the multiple times you walked around doing live streams, walking around Mar-a-Lago. That's a castle with the modern amenities. That's what.
Oh yeah. That's why, when I go and give those tours of Mar-a-Lago, people are amazed. It's like if they were making medieval castles today, it would be like Mar-a-Lago. It's that way. It's got a moat on both sides. It's got a huge wall around it. There's an army inside. It's pretty amazing.
And look, I've seen that particular part where there's a line of buoys that's a certain amount of distance away from the shoreline of Mar-A-Lago that people aren't supposed to cross.
Yeah.
And that's from the Secret Service there. So like you said, what are they expecting the Secret Service to do?
Get involved in a gun battle, I guess. I guess they thought there'd be a gun battle. It'd be like, I don't know. I guess they thought it would be a standoff. The gunfight at the OK Corral. Yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah, we said it, you didn't repeat me that time, we said it at the same time. Gunfight at the OK Corral, yeah, exactly. Benghazi, I don't know what they thought it would be.
Wow, I mean, these people are just delusional to the max, and it's like, okay, what else can they do? And look, this has been going on since he came down the escalator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, this story, I don't understand how there's not a single person in America that would not be terrified by this story. Not the government people, they think they're heroes, but regular people, this story is going to scare the daylights out of them. When this story broke yesterday, I couldn't believe it. And then their excuse, well, that it's just a standard thing that you do when you do raids on the one. This is nothing standard about doing a raid on a home of a president of the United States.
You know, what would they have thought if we went and raided Obama's home? And
I wouldn't support that. I don't think any president's home should be raided. It's a dad president. All right, take care, Mike. Well, great calls today. Keep them coming. Our number toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. My name's Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
A cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the Steve Kane Show.
Injury and arthritis pain with his laser away pain treatment. But don't just take my word for it. This is one of our callers who called me live on the radio to tell me how chiropractic physician Dr. Philip Appleton helped him with his laser away pain treatment.
You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Sean Paul from Boca Raton. I want to thank you guys once again. I've listened to this show since the mid-'80s. Thank you for introducing me to Dr. Appleton, Brian and Steve. I went in there last week. I had a knee problem. At one session, I feel so much better. I brought my mother there yesterday. She has a problem with her right side or her arm. She's right-handed. She feels better. It's amazing. And for people out there that are dealing with pain, believe me, there is an alternative. Go in there for the free consultation. F-R-E-E, free. You will lose. The only thing you'll lose is the pain that you're dealing with. Do not suffer. Go in to see Dr. Appleton, the greatest visit of your life.
Give Dr. Appleton a call right now. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonChiro.com. Open Monday through Saturday. Appointments not necessary. And walk-ins are welcome. 954-973-0710. When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta.
You're on the air. What's your
Guys,
name?
I may have to restart the stream, okay? So, hopefully you guys could bear with me. I'm going to try to do it at the top of the hour, okay? So, I'll have to stop the stream and restart it. Would that be okay with you guys, or? Okay, it might take a few minutes because I'm having some problems with the app that I use, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do it or not. But it looks like the stream's working fine to me, but I'm seeing some technical issues on my end. But the stream audio, everything's cool? Well, it might take a few minutes. I got to shut down the stream and reinstall the app. that I stream on. The stream's good. Okay. Well, the thing I'm wondering is there's over 2,000 in the stream, but it's only showing just over 200, and I don't know why. Because I can see on a back end, there's 2,073 watching right now, but it's only showing just over 200. But everything else is working fine. No, it's a glitch. I updated the app this morning and I made a mistake. Alrighty, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I want to tell you guys about Dr. Appleton. If you're in pain, you don't have to be. If you're in pain, pain is your body telling you something's wrong, okay? And you don't want to take pain medications. First off, even if you're taking the over-the-counter, if they work, you're just masking the pain. The problem, the injury, the damage you have is still there. And if you take those other ones, well, holy smokes, I mean, you could get an addiction issue going on. I don't take anything for anything. But Dr. Appleton's laser wave pain treatment actually repairs the damage that is causing you the pain. It's absolutely amazing, and it works. He's rid me of pain 5 times. And, every time he's treated me, the pain has not returned. It works for so many different types of pain. Neck pain, tennis elbow, tinnitus, herniated disc, arthritis, bursitis, hip pain, knee pain, back pain, all kinds of pain. It works. Appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. Give them a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. And when you stop in, tell Dr. Appleton I said hi. I haven't seen him for a while, but it's because he rid me of my pain, right? When I have another accident, when I fall down again off another skateboard or something, I'll see him again. But tell Dr. Appleton I said hi. I'm sorry I haven't seen him in a while, but I've been rid of my pain by him, so I've had no reason to stop by. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Tammy, and I'm calling from Kansas.
Hey, Tammy in Kansas. What's up?
I get the idea that they just don't want to lose power or money in the government. And look at Mike Wilkerson. They've allowed him to be impeached, but he's still sitting in office doing his thing.
Yeah.
Omar, look at Omar. She's still in office. She should have been out of long time.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
It seems to me like they have no intentions of giving up the power that they've got right now.
No, I would agree with you 10,000% on that. And this authorizing of deadly lethal force during the Mar-A-Lago raid, that's frightening, I think, to most Americans, don't you?
Yeah, and look at this court trial they're having in Manhattan. It's kind of funny that nobody, they've broken the law so many times during this trial. They said that the charges against Trump were expired years ago, but they still bring it to light now. And like that jury, okay, I'm not saying it is, but I've heard rumors online that not even the jury in the Manhattan trial is legit. The jury was even bought.
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I think it's best when it comes to things like that. We know for a fact, it's documented, that the daughter of the judge has taken millions of dollars. So it's best if we deal with what we have evidence of as opposed to accuse everybody. You understand what I mean? Because when you start looking at people where we don't have documents to prove it, it dilutes the impact of the other thing. And the judge's meltdown in court the other day obviously is because of him not being able to deliver the conviction.
Oh, they don't want the American people to see what's going on in that court trial.
Oh, no.
They don't have cameras, and they don't have, the public to be able to see what's really going on. They're hiding a lot of stuff.
Oh, yes.
I think this is a total assassination.
Well, it was something. All right, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. And let me go through this story. This is in the Daily Mail. A new court filing unsealed on Tuesday. It's been sealed, so we're just finding out about it. A new court filing unsealed on Tuesday in the Trump classified documents case revealed federal agents were prepared and authorized to use deadly force when executing a raid at Mar-A-Lago in 2022. The raid on President Trump's home ended with the FBI seizing hundreds of documents containing classified information. They seized papers that filled up about half of one of those boxes. I don't know. So is each page a document? Trump is now charged criminally with mishandling top secret documents. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene spoke out. Marjorie Taylor Greene was outraged by revelations that the FBI was prepared to use deadly force in its raid of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home and suggested Joe Biden was planning to assassinate him. A new court filing unsealed Tuesday in the Trump classified docs case revealed federal agents were prepared and authorized to use deadly force when executing the 2022 search warrant. Marjorie Taylor Greene, a devoted Trump ally, reacted to the news furiously. And, she should be. President Trump was at Bedminster in New Jersey the day of the raid. Yeah, but what if he wasn't? Or what if somebody else in the family was there? What would have happened? What could have happened? Speaker Mike Johnson has not released a statement yet, has he? Well, he better. Well, after the top of the hour, we'll continue to take calls after the top of the hour on this. There are other stories I am going to sprinkle into the mix and recap this because this is the biggest story, not just of the day or the week. I think this is one of the biggest stories of the last decade, honestly. Don't you? Never heard something like this. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Ben from Pompano.
Hey, Ben.
So, I mean, just when you think things can't get any crazier, they do. And I think this has put an even higher relief, given the fact that for the same thing, the retention of classified documents, they let Biden go because he would be seen as too senile and kind old man, according to Robert Hurt. Now are they trying to kill Donald Trump? They are letting Biden go. I mean, the lies that come out of their mouth try to cover this up to your,
I got to tell you, this story, to me, when I heard this yesterday, was I was as shocked as I was on 9/11. I really was.
I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Like, there's no limiting principle for the Democrats. There's nothing they won't do. They don't think in terms of normal, decent human beings. They simply think in terms of power and eliminating their enemies. I just don't think most people can really comprehend how evil and how much these people can lie. It really strikes you if you actually go deep into, what these people.
Well, and you know how many people that has to be run by? It's not just Biden and Merrick Garland. They both have huge staffs around them. And no one stood up and said, no, this is crazy?
There's a whole procession of
hundreds of people.
Right. It has to go through hundreds of people before the actual execution of the actual activity. So It's insane. It's insane that he's politically perfect.
And if you remember, when they broke into Mar-a-Lago, they tried to bully the people there to turn off the cameras because there's obviously surveillance cameras everywhere, and they refused to do it. The people, whoever, it was one of Trump's attorneys, and that refused to do it. What if the FBI pushed harder on that and they continued to refuse to turn off the cameras, and they had this lethal force authorization? How far would this have escalated?
And not only that, these people, they still harass just random employees at Mar-a-Lago, dozens or hundreds of employees at Mar-a-Lago. They're saying, oh, well, you got to turn state's evidence or we're going to just go after you with the full weight of the government.
That's right.
Life. I mean, they're monsters. They didn't just go after Trump, who has a lot of resources. They'll go after the little guy who just there on the day that it happened.
Well, you're talking about the valet that's on trial, too. Yeah.
Hey, that poor guy. I mean, my goodness, he just got wrapped up in this. This is the ballet, you know. And so it has to be Trump in 2024, not only for political reasons, but like this has now become like a spiritual thing. Like there has to be redemption at this point for what he's going through. It has to be a poetic.
He may very well dissolve the entire Washington Bureau of the FBI over this. I mean, this is dirt. This is so dirty it can't be cleaned. I mean, this is just a culture.
It's beyond redemption.
Mm-hmm.
You can't come. There's no coming. You can't have what they've done. And this is people forget. This isn't the only thing they've done. I mean, you know, with the Steele dossier on him. I mean, it'll.
Listen, I'm up against the top of the hour break. I agree with everything you've said. Great calls, by the way. Keep them coming, and you've all contributed quite a bit. The number's toll free 1-888-465-2631. We'll take our break and be right back.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and Heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Paid for by...
That's insanity. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to restart it or not. Let me see how it sounds. Let me see.
My name is Tammy, and Robert Hurt. Are they trying to kill Donald Trump?
Yeah, the audio is pretty good. I'm just, I didn't, okay, seems like, let me see. I'm just not sure. All right, here we go. All right, hour number 2 has begun. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We're talking about this new revelation from the FBI raid on Mar-A-Lago, and if you've not heard it yet, this information had been hidden. It was redacted, and it was unredacted yesterday on the search warrant of Mar-A-Lago. The FBI was authorized to use lethal and deadly force during the Mar-A-Lago raid. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hey. Man, you know, last night after I was listening to your podcast, I couldn't believe this. To order deadly force, this guy is not just senile criminal and being vindictive and nasty. A lowlife, man. This guy is really evil. And him and his flunky. This is terrible. I can't believe it. You know, I just sent you the other day a picture of Biden in the same position as behind him as Hitler, and this guy is pure evil.
Yeah,
I believe it. You know, I'm wondering if the Secret Service would have tried to stop them if they would.
Well, they were why would they authorize them to get involved in a gun battle? I mean, that's and it was at their discretion to do whatever it is they wanted to do once they were there. I mean, this is we're in a new place where we've never been before.
Can't believe it. It's just and then they haven't impeached him yet. What the hell is going on with this Congress that they can't impeach this guy for being what he's doing? If now today they should be saying that this is the straw that broke the camel's back. They got to impeach this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, to do something like...
Well, you know, this is the thing, okay? You know, I've talked about this a lot. The way that the never-Trumper forces, all of them, whoever you're talking about, media, deep state, the Uniparty, the Republican establishment, all these people, they're the permanent Washington class, even if they're the media in New York. They're this permanent ruling class. And they believe that this is their country, that we're just living in it. And I've explained many times, to my knowledge, Donald Trump is the first president of the United States to not be pushed in by the political establishment of the day, because we have this nominating process, okay? And this nominating process, you have to vote for whoever the party nominates. So throughout history, we've had two, for the most part, during our lifetimes, you know, we've had two candidates to vote for, both chosen by the establishment of the political parties of the day. And, you know, and he is the first president to squeak through that. They didn't take him seriously enough until it was too late. Then they stopped caring in the first campaign, and he got in. And they just, first time it's happened in over 200 years. So, and you go back to Washington. All of them are part of the political power structure of the day. And one guy got by them, and they just can't let it happen again. They just can't get over it. And, yeah.
But meanwhile, they all know that he has a following that never had anybody had a following like this guy. I mean, who can have a rally without a rock concert going on to have this amount of people coming in? I mean, this guy is so popular that that's the reason he won. And that's one of the other things that we really got to be careful, because Hillary Clinton was so far ahead in the polls, and everybody's like, oh, she's going to win. Even though the Trump is in the polls, we got to make sure that it doesn't keep people home. People got to get out.
You know, and you remember in the first campaign, they were even talking about a brokered convention, right? You know, and you know, here we are. You know, here when you look at everything that's happened, with the lawfare, more Trump attorneys, Christina Bobb. You know, the mugshot of Christina Bobb came out yesterday, another one of Trump's attorneys. You may have seen her at Right Side. You know, how many times has Giuliani been arrested now, right? His, you know, Peter Navarro's still in that federal prison. Steve Bannon is facing prison. I mean, you know, and, who was the... I forgot the name. I even interviewed him. Who was the name of the campaign manager that they brought in for the broker convention? The guy that wore like ascots. You know who I'm talking about? You know, they have put in jail Trump's campaign managers. they've arrested, I've lost track of how many of his attorneys have been arrested. You know, they've arrested him. They've got a mugshot of him. For nothing. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And here we are today. Zelensky's term ended 2 days ago, and he suspended elections until the war ends. Well, this war could go on forever.
Yeah, it probably will. As long as they're making money, they'll be and stealing our money.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I mean, right now, Zelensky's term is over. He is ruling. I don't know if he's officially declared it, but it seems like martial law in Ukraine. How does he maintain the presidency if his term is up without an election? He's got to sign something to maintain it. He just can't say I'm not leaving. There's got to be some type of formal procedure for that.
Well, I don't know what's going on over there, man, but you can bet that's one of the main reasons why they don't want Trump to get in, because he'll stop the war in peace again, and there goes their money.
That's right. All right, Doug, I appreciate the call. I mean, meanwhile, listen to this. In other news, an illegal alien who had been previously deported from the United States has been arrested and accused of raping a child in Campbell County, Virginia. Hyunder Pedro Javier Secul Cal, I guess, I'm sure I mispronounced all of that. A 21-year-old illegal alien has been arrested and charged by the Campbell County Sheriff's Office with the rape of a minor. The day before his arrest, the Sheriff's Office began investigating the rape of a child in Campbell County. Investigators were led to the illegal alien, whom they said had been previously deported from the United States. This is not the only crime by an illegal that's in the news today. There's a few others. But these are crimes that should not have happened, that wouldn't happen if the border had been shut. The border being reopened by Joe Biden has resulted in how many victims of very violent crimes? The worst, rape and murder, are the two worst crimes, aren't they? Rape and murder, the two worst crimes. And how many of them have been committed because the border's open? I saw Bill Maher doing his book tour round. I watched him on the Gutfeld show, and I watched him on Megyn Kelly. And he talks about everything other than the border and Ukraine and the fentanyl crisis, And Megyn Kelly kept pushing him, and he's like, "Oh, these border things, like that can be settled with Biden in office, with the Republicans negotiating. You don't need Trump back for that." The border was secure. It was as shut down as it possibly could be shut down, almost, with Trump, without the wall even being completed. My goodness, President Trump had the Mexican army guarding and patrolling their northern border, our southern border, on their side, stopping illegals from coming through. It was amazing. Joe Biden stopped all that and opened it up, stopped the building of the wall. Much of the wall has been opened up that was built because it wasn't completed and fortified. And now we have these crimes. I don't know any details about the child that was raped by this illegal, because they're underage. They're not really releasing details. The child may be an American. It may be an illegal. I don't know, but it does. These are crimes that all could be prevented. Prevented by shutting down the border. In the old days in this country, the outlaws went to Mexico to hide out. Now it's the other way around. If you're an outlaw in Latin America, you've got to... And President Trump says that in Venezuela, the prisons are empty. That they're emptying out the jails of Venezuela and the rest of South America and sending them here. They say that's racist when he says that. Well, these crimes that we're reading about, like this one I just shared with you, there's some others. I might go through them later. These are not first-time offenders. These are hardcore, serious, violent crimes. Rarely does a first-time offender do that. Now, maybe their first time in this country, but I mean throughout their lifetime. I mean, can you blame them? It's a good deal for them in Latin America. They can empty out their entire criminal population to us, and they come here willingly because we set them up with a life. Food stamps, debit cards, cell phones, free rent. They don't have to work. There's a whole retirement plan for illegals once they come here. So can you blame them? No. But there's a major increase in crime here. And President Trump has said multiple times at rally speeches in the last couple of months that not only are the prisons being emptied in Latin America, but also the crime rates are at record lows in Venezuela and other South American countries. Of course they are, because they're sending all their criminals here. And when people, even American criminals, how many, when they get out of prison doing long stretches, reoffend, especially the sex ones? I've read stories of guys, they've done 20 years for rape. They get out that week, they'll do another rape. Sometimes they'll rape the person that they did that got them sent to prison. You've heard those stories. People that have sex-related offenses always reoffend. They have no control over themselves. None. They don't have it, they don't want it. But most criminals go out and reoffend even when they get out of jail here. So of course these guys are doing it here, and they come here and they have a completely clean record because they're undocumented. Their name is whatever they say it is. They're as old as they ever claim to be. When they cross the border, they get a whole... It's like being in the witness protection program, and it doesn't take long until they blow it. And sadly, they victimize people in ways that can't be reversed. The rape of a child, the murder of a college girl. These are things that you can't reverse. All right, we'll take our first break of the second hour and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888.
Yeah, there's 8. I'm going to go through some of these when we get back. Yeah, it sounds like everything's working well on the stream, so I'm not going to restart it. So there's a glitch. Like right now, there's just over 2,900 watching. But what it's showing on YouTube is just 33. But I can see on the back end, there's 2,914 actually. So I guess that's just the numbers good. The audio sounds fine. The picture's fine, so I'm not going to restart it. I made some adjustments to the app that I live stream with, so I got to fix that after the show. Paul Manafort. Yes, I always forget Manafort's name. Now there's, let's see here.
Gives you the most beautiful vinyl floors on the market today. Top that off with our lowest introductory value prices, and you'll have that spectacular new Cortec floor at far less than you imagine. We've been flooring folks in South Florida for over 40 years, providing great service, professional knowledge, top-notch installation, and always the best prices.
Yeah, I know, and it's 2,972 are watching. So I don't know why it shows that. I mean, 20. There's more, you know. And there's over 500 likes. But the sound's fine and the picture's fine. So whatever the glitch is, it's not affecting the content. By the way, make sure you subscribe if you're new. Here we go. All right, callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You know, yesterday Joe Thomas stopped by, and you want to give him a call. Take advantage of this no-charge consultation that he's offering. You know, he's offering no-charge consultations to you no matter where you're located. You can set this up over the phone no matter where you are in America. Talk to him about annuities. You know, annuities are absolutely amazing. You know, your money's not at risk, and you can generate income. You're not risking with the stock market. It can go up, it can go down. Who can live that way? And once you're retired, for most people, that's the end of your adding to your nest egg. Your savings is your savings. Your nest egg is your nest egg. And with annuities, you're not risking any of that. It's absolutely amazing, and you can generate income when you're retired. I'm going to give you his number. Call and set up that free phone consultation, and you can also ask him for his free book, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. If you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. We're talking about the raid of Mar-A-Lago. A redacted document was unredacted and released yesterday. This is in the documents case, that Merrick Garland and Joe Biden, and Merrick Garland's signature is on the search warrant, authorized lethal and deadly force to be used by the FBI during the raid. Pretty crazy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, sorry. I think I disconnected the call. You're welcome to call back. 1-888-465-2631 is our number. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you are listening to us. 888-465-2631. So, you know, there's a story here that shows a whole bunch of crimes that have been committed by illegals. Listen to this. May 15th, the Fox affiliate out of L.A., Fox 11, listen to this. This is from Fox 11 out of L.A., May 15th. In a dramatic rescue in a remote area of the San Gabriel Mountains, Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies saved a woman from a sexual assault inside a van that authorities described as a rape dungeon on wheels. The incident occurred approximately 6 miles north of Azusa, near mile marker 21 along Highway 39, according to the LA Sheriff's Department. Sources said the serial rapist had taken his 26-year-old victim to a dark turnout just off the highway. He's an illegal immigrant, legal alien. He was arrested May 13th. Deputies said he's a transient and an illegal from Mexico. He's been charged with 2 counts of forcible rape for the incident, which he was caught in with the van. There's another incident they've charged him with from the day before. Deputies described the illegal's van as a rape dungeon on wheels that was disgustingly outfitted for rape. Sources said that because of the nature of the crimes, deputies believe there may be other victims. Here's another case. May 7th, Fox News. A Guatemalan illegal immigrant is charged in Florida with the kidnapping and sexual assault of a child. He had been freed by the U.S. with a court date, to imagine this, of 2027. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, oh, that's where we are. This guy was running around Palm Beach County. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office announced that Marvin Perez Lopez, an illegal from Guatemala, was arrested for kidnapping a minor under the age of 13 and sexual assault. Detectives learned that he arrived in January after crossing into the U.S. through Mexico, and he turned himself into the Border Patrol. Border Patrol gave him a court date for sometime in 2027, released him into the United States. He's now in the Palm Beach County Jail. He grabbed an 11-year-old girl and forced her into his van, according to the arrest report. The girl's mother is said to have spotted them and started banging on the door before the suspect jumped out of the van and fled, according to sheriff's deputies. When deputies arrived at his apartment, he fled into an alleyway but was eventually caught. He's a Guatemalan who came into the country illegally. He was stopped at the border and released. He made his way to South Florida. That's what Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw said to the press. May 7th, police arrested an illegal immigrant mother of a boy sentenced to prison for attempting to hire a hitman to kill witnesses in her son's case, according to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. What's going on with Palm Beach County? DeSantis needs to get down here. The illegal woman was arrested after agreeing to pay an undercover agent to kill 2 witnesses who were testifying in her son's 2022 fatal stabbing case. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office announced she faces 2 counts of solicitation to commit murder, this is a hiring of hitman, and will be subject to deportation following the completion of her prosecution. Wow. Her son was recently sentenced to 15 years in prison for the stabbing death at a birthday party in Lake Worth. Marcus Cardona was at a 5-year-old's birthday party in June 2022 when a fight broke out. The victim stepped in to break up the fight and was stabbed 5 times and died the following day. Oh my goodness. And the mother tried to kill the witnesses after he was convicted. May 10th. Alabama Fox affiliate of Mobile reports the driver who caused a fatal crash last month was speeding in the wrong direction, was 4 times past the legal alcohol limit when he slammed into a teen's car. This is another illegal, speaking slowly so that an interpreter could relay his words to the defendant who was watching via video link from the county jail in Mobile. Prosecutors were moving for the detention order due to the nature surrounding the crash, prior DUI conviction. He entered the United States illegally, and he tried to leave the United States on his own, even though he entered here illegally after the deadly crash. Here's another one, May 8th. An illegal alien is responsible for a recent car crash in Maine that left 1 woman dead and her husband critically injured. At around 8:40 a.m., April 6th, 23-year-old Ogazan Klidar, a Mexican national in the U.S. illegally, was driving a Toyota Prius on I-95 in Wells, Maine. He crashed into a minivan and a pickup. The pickup truck rolled over several times. The Maine Wire reported that 5 witnesses told police the illegal had been driving erratically just before the crash, weaving in and out of traffic. He doesn't have a driver's license, and he's in the country illegally. Oh my goodness. I mean, there's more. An illegal immigrant who was supposed to have been deported 7 years ago but had never showed up to court, attacked a pregnant teenager. May 13th, a Colombian national in the country illegally was apprehended for serious crimes. I mean, these stories go on and on. In April 25th, Fox News reports an illegal immigrant accused of sexually assaulting 2 girls had an expired visa and was in the country illegally. I mean, this goes on and on. We could do this all day. See, this is the thing. These are crimes that if Trump's border policies were continued by Biden, none of these people would be dead or victimized. None of these crimes would have happened. Understand? I mean, what role and responsibility does Biden and the Democrats have in these crimes? I say a lot. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Our number is 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Complete insanity. Complete insanity. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got to start that. Okay, I'm going to try to restart the stream during this bottom of the hour break, guys. So it'll take me a few minutes, but this is our long break. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there.
222-6642 or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number 1-888-465-2631. I have covered quite a bit today, I must tell you. And this Mar-A-Lago raid is, of course, what we're covering for the most part. But you're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Berta from Texas.
Hey, Berta. What's up?
Listen, I listened to all the lists you've made, and I don't agree with you more. But there's more. There's more.
Oh, yeah.
It did. What about the people? And I'm going to give you my own personal story. My ex-husband disappeared on me and my girls. He's a Mexican. He disappeared to Mexico. And he left. I filed with the court 4 times in the city of Miami, child support. Okay? And supposedly they couldn't find him in anything. They worked hard every time I refilled, the paperwork. I did it again. I'm here taking care of my daughter in another part of Texas, and I came to find out that his new wife has a Social Security card, has the green card, has everything, and he had all this visa and everything with Biden's America. To him. Oh, he owes over $50,000 in child support.
It's insane.
They gave him the residency, Brian. And not only that, they claim for his wife, which I find out now, that she's getting benefits.
Wow.
Not fair. That is not fair in our economy right now.
Well, and you look at how many people are retired living off Social Security benefits and Medicare. And by the way, they got to pay. They got to pay for their Medicare out of their little Social Security check. And you've got these people that are moved over here, and they're completely retired and don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah, that's another issue with our senior citizens. That's another issue. You know how much my mother has to live off of in 1 month after she pays her bills? In Miami, in Kendall, Miami. Okay, after paying all her bills to live off of gas and food, $289.
Oh my goodness!
All 4 of us, are sending her money for food.
That's insane.
That doesn't make sense. This is an 82-year-old woman who is diabetic. I mean, it's just a mess.
Well, you know what it is? Rush Limbaugh used to talk about this a lot. He says all Democrats care about is power. They don't care about the American people at all. And they see the illegals as a way for them to regain power and keep the power. And their focus right now is on them and their Hamas-supporting constituents in Michigan.
Correct. And do you know what's the best part? They're not even hiding it. You have Democrats proving that soon we're going to have Democrat votes.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so scary to people, is that they're not hiding it.
Absolutely. I just wanted to add that on. Great show, Brian.
I appreciate it. Well, take care. All right, well, I thank you so much. Now, the main story today is this FBI raid and the declassified document, which is the warrant, is that deadly lethal force was authorized for the FBI to use on the raid of President Trump's home. And there's no way that doesn't scare people. There's no way. Now, this New York City trial, we're getting to the final stretch now. Both the prosecution and the defense have rested. Now the jury instructions are coming. And on Tuesday, it looks like the jury is going to finally get the case. Now, whenever there's a story involving a court case, I learned this years ago, you can never predict what a jury is going to do. You just can't, all right? It's just, there's no way to predict what a jury is going to do. The jury could very well come back guilty. They could come back with a hung jury. They could come back with a not guilty verdict. There's no way to predict it. Especially when you're dealing with liberals in New York City. Now, I know a lot of New Yorkers are not as liberal as they used to be. You know? But this is a very high-profile case. All of these New York City jury members, all their friends know they're on the Trump case. And what a lot of them are thinking is, well, I got to go home. I'm sure they're thinking this. And they got to face their friends, neighbors, and coworkers who know they were on the Trump jury. And there's a lot of pressure with that. There's a lot of pressure. You know how liberals are. You know, I don't associate with liberal-minded people in my personal life. I just don't. There's a few people that I'm related to that I, have to deal with, but I really don't. But you know how nasty liberals are. You know, my wife had a conversation with her brother. My wife's brother is the one liberal in the family. And he thinks Rachel Maddow is the oracle of all knowledge. You know, he's a disciple of her. And my wife was talking to him on the phone yesterday, and he thinks Trump is guilty as the day is long. And she was explaining to him what's been going on. He doesn't care. He believes it all because he wants to believe it. All right? You know, these Trump haters, it's really, they say we're a cult. The Trump derangement sufferers, they're the cult. They want to believe these things. And this jury, there's no way that a real jury, that's a credible jury, would come back with a guilty verdict in this case. Even if I didn't love Trump as much as I do, I would tell you that. I mean, this case is pathetic. They got nothing. You know, and one thing there was a lot of talk with the legal analysts yesterday in the New York case is that the prosecution has not given the underlying crime yet, right? Well, in the jury instructions, they're going to finally tell the jury what the crime they're prosecuting Trump is. That underlying crime that they've not mentioned to us. Well, how convenient. I've never seen a case where you didn't know what the person was on trial for. This is a criminal case, not a civil case. It's not complex. There's a crime, they either did it or they didn't. And they've not even presented what the alleged crime is. The evidence has shown that he's done nothing wrong. The only witness that didn't say he didn't do anything was Michael Cohen, who's the biggest liar that's ever walked New York City streets, it seems to me. Certainly the biggest liar that's ever been a star witness in a high-profile case like this. They've proven nothing other than Michael Cohen's a thief who should go to jail. Okay? You know, and we talked about this trial through the whole thing. So there's no way that a legitimate jury could come back with anything other than not guilty. But we're talking about a jury that without question has some liberals on it, like my brother-in-law, who want to believe all these fantasies are true because they hate Trump so much. But I'm here to tell you this. Whatever the verdict is, and hopefully it'll come back quick next week, and not have, they really should cancel Memorial Day and give it to the jury this week and keep them over the weekend and get this over with. But there's a lot of panic going on because this is not the way this was supposed to turn out. And these evil forces, the Biden regime and all these evil forces that are behind this case, they're drawing things out a little bit so they can figure out what to do. And they really don't know what to do. Their worst nightmare is an acquittal. If there's an acquittal, Trump's been proven not guilty in a court of law. That's the worst scenario for the judge, too. You know, the president came out yesterday with one of his press conferences and talked about how corrupt the judge was. And he said, look where he's from. And they're calling Trump a racist for that. This judge was born in Colombia. And a lot of times, people that are born in other countries, not always, but people that are born in other countries a lot of times, they in this era, they don't get Americanized. They're raised by parents and grandparents who are thinking like the old ways of the old country. And in Colombia, it's not unusual for a judge to be bought off. It's not unusual for a judge to be part of a political process. So the judge, this isn't racist. The judge is corrupt. His family's corrupt. This whole case is corrupt. And how did this judge end up with the case? Did they judge shop this? You think it's just a coincidence that the judge that got this case has a daughter that is an equity partner in a big Democrat political operation? Of course it's not. I do not believe in coincidences. It's not a coincidence. Things are, and she was raising money long before all of this for Democrats. They judge shop this. Democrats love to judge shop. The one judge they made the mistake on was here in Miami. We got a Trump-appointed judge, and she's handling it like a real judge. She's not biased towards Trump. She has not dismissed this case. She's having it proceed, and she's been releasing a lot of information, like this new stuff about the raid that we've gotten is because of her. We've got one good judge, and that entire case has been a release of terrible things that the government has done against President Trump. And it's been on a regular basis. This new thing isn't just today. It's been a regular basis of things. The staging of the evidence. The mishandling of evidence. Now this use of deadly force in the raid. All these things have come out of that one courtroom. It's amazing. Could you imagine if we had real, honest judges in these other cases? Now, a lot's being made today that Fannie won her primary. So what, the Democrats voted for her? Okay. But Fannie winning her primary is something to look at for this jury in New York. By the way, did she have opponents in that primary? I don't know. Who were they? I don't know. But so what? Democrats chose her again. All right, I get it. She's on top of the world. But we've got a Democrat jury, for the most part, without question, in New York. So you just prepare yourself for the possibility of a guilty verdict. It very well could happen. I'd like to think it wouldn't happen, but it could. And if there is, watch the media celebrate and do high fives as if the court's legitimate and the jury's legitimate. If the jury comes back not guilty, we'll know this is a legitimate jury. And I know some people will say, oh, well, if you get your way, the jury's good. If you don't, they're bad. We have all followed this case, and there's been no crime shown committed by Donald Trump. If they had presented a case and there was criminal activity by Donald Trump, it would be a different story. But they haven't. In fact, I haven't seen a single credible legal analysis of this by anyone on television, including Alan Dershowitz, who's a Democrat, who voted for Biden, who says anything other than there's been no evidence, Trump committed no crime, and the list goes on. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Your home is your safe space, your private refuge from the world at large. So what happens when a burglar invades that space? Possessions can be replaced, but the feelings of helplessness and violation felt by you and your family are harder to overcome.
Yeah, it's very weird, like, the glitch in YouTube, I guess, but as long as the audio is working, I'll keep it going. But as long as the audio is working, I'll keep it going.
Plus, your choice of a free interior monitoring camera or programmable thermostat when you subscribe to the Sloman's low-cost monitoring system for 5 years. With the Sloman Shield, you can arm and disarm your system, view your home, lock your doors, control your thermostat, even turn your lights on and off right from your smartphone or tablet. Call 833-283-5050 now and ask about a free home security system. You'll save money and gain peace of mind knowing your family is secure with Sloman's. Call
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Look up in the sky, on a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a hat. It's the Print Hero. The Print Hero team is made up of expert designers and printers, each with their own unique superpowers. Help your company look great. Stand out with your unique lifestyle. The Print Hero has you covered. Let your business soar with Print Hero. Display your logo, love, lifestyle, or whatever you want the world to see on a t-shirt, hoodie, or hat. Best prices and fast turnaround time. Print Hero, a company that goes above and beyond to deliver top quality products and services to their clients. Learn more at theprinthero.com. Up, up, and away.
Is this guy with the pillows on Fox? My pillow guy, Mike Lindell. Where is Mike? He is the greatest. First of all, he does make a great product, great pillows. I actually use them, believe it or not. He's been a supporter from day one. The My Pillow guy, thank you. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
As always, President Trump is right. The My Pillow is so good, even President Trump sleeps on one. Support Mike Lindell, President Trump, and the Steve Kane Show at the same time. Go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout for huge savings on My Pillow products. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. You like that new commercial the president did for us for MyPillow? Yeah, great Father's Day gifts at MyPillow.com with our promo code KANE. The MyPillow 2.0, by the way, buy one, get one free. The $25 extravaganza continues. The MyPillow mattress topper is 50% off. Free shipping on all orders over $75 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. It's Doris.
Oh, hey, Doris. How you doing?
Fine, thank you, but except in the memory department.
Yeah.
I'm 95 years old, and my memory isn't too good, and I need your help on two things. Both of them are important.
All right.
And thank God for you and Steve and, all the good news you bring us. The only thing that bothers me about the good news is nobody is saying hallelujah. Every day somebody should be calling in and thanking God, because some of these things have been, they're the hand of God. Now that's important. So you men, come on, give God a break.
No.
Now, here's the other thing. You are very offended at the violence that's shown by this president toward his opposition. But am I incorrect? I've been afraid since years ago when that big gal from Florida gave the order to burn alive the ministers.
Oh, you're talking about Waco. Yeah.
That was Democrats, all.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll tell you, if you don't think that wasn't frightening, I sat watching TV at the people.
Well, you say that, and what I was talking about at the top of the show, Doris, is the way they handled the raid at Mar-A-Lago. They were handling it like Trump was David Koresh. They really, it shows you how much of a danger they view him.
It was not only that, how little concern they had for the Republican Party, because the Republicans should have been doing something about this ever since back then.
Yeah, no doubt.
Which it was hideous to watch a woman give the order to, burn alive these people who were religious.
Yeah.
And
well, Janet Reno had a history of doing that. Remember, she ordered the raid and they put the machine guns in Elian Gonzalez's face in the closet in Miami. So she has a history of doing things. Democrats, it's an amazing thing. Democrats are tyrants, and if you go through all these incidents like you're talking about, it's when Democrats are in power.
Boy, when they're in power, they're hideous.
Mm-hmm. Well, Doris, it's always good to hear from you. How old are you now? I forgot.
95. But listen.
Oh my goodness.
God bless Steve, your family, because if it wasn't for you, I'd go out of my mind.
Oh yeah, 95.
Today, we need you. So stay healthy.
Okay. Well, whatever you've been doing is what we all got to do. All right, 95 years old. She sounds pretty healthy, and I remember when I first met her, she was like in her 60s, and she was, boy, oh boy, it's crazy. 95. All right, 1-888-465-2631 is the number. Now, President Trump, let me play this. He came out of court yesterday, and these press conferences he's been having in the echo chamber at the courthouse, if you've noticed, the people that are with him are pretty far behind him. I don't know how far behind, but they look to be like 15, 20 feet away, and they're behind like metal railings and such. That's all the judge's order. Yesterday Sebastian Gorka was there, and Don Jr. and a bunch of others with Trump. Every day it's a new group. But the judge doesn't let them around him too close for some strange reason. But this is President Trump's press conference right out of the courtroom yesterday.
There is no crime. In fact, I just got almost every review that's been done of the case so far. As they say, there is no crime. This should have never been brought. It should be dismissed before you even have a verdict. But we have a judge that's extremely... let's say complicated, but let's also say conflicted. He's complicated and conflicted. And it's a very strange situation. Nobody's ever seen anything quite like it. But we have a situation where we have no crime. And this next couple of hours is very important because the judge can try and manufacture one where he goes from a misdemeanor, which doesn't exist because of the statute of limitations. Doesn't exist, absolutely. And they try and bring it into a felony, but you can't do it because they haven't been able to prove it. And you see what...
See, this is very key, because now we're getting into the jury instructions, and then the jury is going to have like 4 days off, okay? And the judge can instruct anything. And one thing we know, that the judge is in a panic that the case that he thought they had wasn't delivered. So the judge can, these judges, we saw this in the property case, okay? These judges don't care if they're overturned. They expect to be overturned in the appeals court or by the Supreme Court. What they want is the immediate delivery of verdicts against Trump, whether it's the property case in a civil case or a guilty verdict in this criminal case. And the powers that be want a criminal conviction like nobody's business in this case. They don't care if it's overturned next week. I don't know how long the appeals process would take. Supreme Court should fast track it and toss it all out. But that's not how these things happen. They want him to have a criminal conviction more than anything else in the world. And the judge knows that. And conveniently, they've got the Memorial Day weekend to strategize how they're going to deliver it. The one thing that really, for the most part, has united the American people over the years, prior to Trump coming down the escalator, is a trust in our legal system. Everyone knows the legal system isn't perfect. A lot of things happen. But people have trust in it overall. And what we've seen now is 100% politics. And that scares people. Trump goes on.
Remember, I'm gagged. I'm not allowed to say what I'd like to really say. because you'd be very impressed. But I'm game, so why would I take the chance? But we do want to defend our Constitution, so at some point maybe I will take the chance. It's a very serious situation when a Republican nominee for president, the Republican nominee, somebody that won easily and quickly in record time, gets number one gagged and number two is before a Democrat-appointed judge, and you're playing with fire like this. It's very sad. But the good news is they've not proven a case. There is no crime. Now, you're going to read all of these experts, and you know the ones that have to go over the names again, but all experts, legal scholars, talented people, very smart people, and there is no crime. So maybe they'll try and devise one right now. The judge will help them out, because the judge has been very helpful to the other side. And that should never be. That should never be in our country. Now,
yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. The jury instructions, you know, the judge can say anything to the jury. They get that conviction, that's it. He's convicted. And that's all they'll run with. And there'll be a celebration in the mainstream corporate media over that. You know, whoever the presidents or presidential candidates are, half the country are always opposed to them. Always. This isn't, you know, this partisan presidential candidacy thing is not unique to Trump. And people really hate, you know, whoever the president is, whoever the nominee is, whoever's running, half the country love him and the other half hate him like the plague. Always. Always. And the opposing party gives them a lot of they wanted to impeach Ronald Reagan because he walked out of a summit meeting with Gorbachev in Iceland. They want to impeach him over that. They talked about it. They didn't do it, but they talked about it. You know, well, you hear about the World Court with Netanyahu. The left were trying to get the World Court to have a trial of George W. Bush and Dick Cheney when they were in office. So, you know, this is not unique, especially with Democrats. But even with Democrats in office, you know, Bill Clinton was impeached for suborning perjury, which is a bad thing, but it's jaywalking compared to some of the things that have been going on today. So, you know, there were forces of the Republican establishment that were led by Bush, one, that didn't like Bill Clinton, wanted revenge for Bush not being reelected and losing to him. So they got him impeached. They wanted him to have that label of being impeached. The Bushes were behind that. So there's always been partisanship, but now we're at another level where we've never been before with the lawfare. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. 2 hours down. The show has been flying by. 1 hour to go. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show.
Hold on, guys. I got to do one more change. I'll be right back. I have to restart the feed again. A legal precedent in this country is set on anything that becomes the new normal. And that's why things like what's going on with the lawfare are so dangerous, because you can see this path. And when you follow the news, issues, and politics long enough, you see these patterns like I've seen. You know, when Bill Clinton was impeached, he was the first president impeached since Andrew Johnson, right? Lincoln's vice president. You know, and then look what happened. So this is how this will now become. Breaking into presidents' homes, getting search warrants, accusing them of crimes, presidential candidates too. That is going to be the way it is from now and in the future in this country. Unless it's stopped, and stopped hardcore. And, you know, there are things that can be done to make that happen. You know, when it's really a terrible thing, but Trump's second term, he's going to have to make a big decision, okay? And the decision is, do they seek out justice against all of those who have been involved in this lawfare, which would be totally consuming of his second term? Should he do that? Or should he ignore it and let them get away with it? You know, and my immediate thought, and I think you would all would agree with this, is justice needs to be done. There needs to be investigations into who was behind all of these lawfare tactics. This story about the judge's daughter with the millions of dollars. There's a lot of documentation that show that we know that's happened. What we don't know is if the money's made its way to the judge. I mean, we can suspect, and if your daughter comes into $10 million, that benefits you. But if there is an investigation by the second Trump administration into cases like this, the judge and the daughter, and follow the money and see what happened and how it happened and the benefits, and when all of a sudden did she start into these windfalls, don't you see how that would consume the entire second term? So should he consume the entire second term with the investigations of all these things? Like, look what's happening to Giuliani and Christina Bobb now in the news. Or should he move on to his agenda? And I would say he should investigate them. But that's all we're not just going to win the presidency. We're going to win back a huge majority in the House. The Senate's another story, because not much of the Senate is up. So, that's a different thing. But should we waste this little window we have of 4 years with that, or should it all be focused in on getting his primary agenda done? And really, you got to ask yourself, what does the other side want? I would say the other side would probably want investigations and arrest and justice and hearings about all this lawfare, because it would stop him from doing the things that we really want him to do, right? This is really bad situation we're in, guys. It's worse than it seems. It really is, and it seems bad. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. Yep.
Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Hey, Patty from New Jersey. How are you today?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, well, you know what? I really feel, Brian, that I get the fact that we don't want to be prosecute previous presidents and stuff like that. But you know what? This has gone way too far. And we do have to have some accountability and some justice for some of this stuff. I mean, I'm not saying to nitpick and go after and prosecute every single thing, but there are certain things at the higher parts of the higher echelons that need to be addressed. This needs to never happen again. And the only way that they're going to stop it and to deter people from doing it again is start holding people accountable.
Well, here's the problem. I agree with you 100%. All right? But here's the problem. Okay? Doing that would become what the whole second term was about. Yeah. You don't think it would shut down Washington? You don't think it would consume and shut down the government? If they started investigating the New York judge and his daughter and the money, Fannie, Jack Smith, this J6 judge, I mean, President Trump has promised to do two things that's already going to freak out everybody. The mass deportations of millions of people and the pardoning of the J6ers. Either of those two things on their own is going to cause meltdowns in D.C. that could shut down the government. You add to it this, what's going to happen?
Brian, if you think about it, look at what he got done with all the crap that was slung at him in his first term. And you know what? We don't need our congressmen and our senators to do it. They need to go in and appoint special counsels. They need somebody to oversee it, and they need to send out special counsels and let them deal with it. And, and like I said, we don't want to go out there and investigate every little thing. But that raid on Mar-A-Lago, God forbid he was there and those guys busted.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
It would have been mayhem. And I honestly believe that was just another attempt at a possible assassination. It's just, we've got to stop this. And the only way we can't just, we can't just say, oh, well, you know what, bad people, we're not going to ever do that again. We're going to go and change some laws and stuff like that. That's not going to do it. Actions have consequences.
That's right.
And even when you're raising a child or you're training an animal, you need to do corrective measures. And everybody, they need to be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Certain people out there, Merrick Garland.
See, the special counsel, all you have with the special counsel were 3 or 4 years of nonsense. I mean, there are U.S. attorneys that can just arrest people. The whole special counsel thing is just a time killer bureaucracy, and that goes nowhere. No, I mean, this is the level of
change.
The level
to do it, and they need to go.
If you're just tuning in, what has happened is a redacted document. The search warrant of Mar-A-Lago was unredacted and released yesterday, and it showed that the FBI was authorized to use lethal and deadly force during the raid of President Trump's home at Mar-A-Lago. And that's why we're talking about this today. And it takes things to a whole new level.
100%. It just, that would have been so bad for this country. Could you just imagine? I can't even imagine where we would be today had something bad.
Oh, yeah. What if the Secret Service didn't let them in? What would they have done? All right, listen, I got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Brian Craig here. I've suffered with massive pain in my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone, thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
Well, I treated your knee pain with laser. Treatment is simple and no side effect. I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. These are all FDA approved.
Now, you don't just help with knees. Tell the listeners what other areas you can help them with.
Any joint I can do. Shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up through the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and with the laser away pain system, there's no injections, no surgery, and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of
balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642.
Hey, grab your flip-flops and get ready for a summer in paradise on Margaritaville at Sea, where cruises to the Bahamas now start at just $75 a person. For a limited time, dance the night away at our high-energy pool.
We'll be back in just a minute, guys.
And settle in for island-inspired
If you're on hold, hang in there.
night after night with your favorite plus one. From fins up to sundown, a Bahamas getaway with Margaritaville at Sea is the perfect summer refresh. Book it today to lock in your savings on your next cruise together at Margaritaville.
No, Mike, the numbers are off. That's why I was rebooting, because there's actually over 1,000 in the live stream right now. Over 5,000 have watched already, and YouTube's showing the low number. But there's been just under 5,200 in the stream. There's over 1,000 now. So I've had that glitch before. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but it's happened once or twice before. I made some changes to the app I live stream with, and I think that might have caused the problem. I've been trying to fix it. But I can see on the back end, there's been over 5,200 in the stream already, and there is just over 1,000 watching now. I know.
Where in the world?
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Before we go back to the phones, I want to tell people about Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, everywhere prices have gone up, and they have, except at Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, Friendly Tire in Margate is the only place I know where prices have gone down, and they have. New tires out the door and on the road as low as $70 a tire. And remember, when I say out the door and on the road, I mean it. That means he doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or dispose of your old tire. There's no added fees. So the price he quotes you is out the door and on the road. Now, new tires are as low as $70 a tire, and that is for common sizes on some of the most common vehicles on the road today. It's a pretty good deal. He also has thousands of used tires in stock, and he's open Monday through Saturday. He will be closed on Memorial Day, but he will be open at Friendly Tire in Margate this Saturday. I'm going to give you the number. Give Mike a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dean from Stewart.
Yeah, Dean, what's up?
Hey, I think that the president should I think we need to multitask this time. He gets in there, he's got to start cleaning house. Unfortunately, you know, I'm kind of a vindictive guy when it kind of crosses me. Maybe I'm not the right guy, but if I treat you right if you treat me right, but if you go after me, I'm going to go after you.
Well, this isn't, it's not revenge or vindictiveness. I mean, there's been major laws that have been broken, so I mean, it's justice. It's not, you know,
to take care of justice.
Yeah,
I think we can handle multiple things at one time. You know, we can't just say, well, we've got to handle this. No, let's do everything. He's got 4 years. He's got to go to town and do a lot of things, and he will. You know, Trump's a maniac when it comes to getting things done. So he's going to go after multiple people. He's going to probably get some maybe new laws enacted so they can't do this to the next president.
Well, the thing is, we don't know. We may not control the Senate. We don't know. The House we're going to have a big majority in, much bigger than now. but that's not saying much. The Senate's another deal because only a third's up, and it's harder to, that's a little, we may control the Senate, we may not, we may have a minor majority, but the problem is they're not just the lawfare criminals, the criminals that have been really running the government for the last 3.5 years. There's so much criminal activity going on in this banana republic right now.
Gotta get, and now we're figuring out how powerful these lower circuit judges are. They're animals.
They're kings. They're kings.
Power.
Oh yeah.
Realize that. We thought, well, the Supreme Court, that's...
Well, you make, and what you're talking about makes a point. See, the Republicans have power too. They're just too cowardly to use it. The Democrats are not afraid to use their powers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Appreciate the call. Thanks so much. We've had great calls on the phones today, by the way, I must say. For the most part, I don't think we've had one liberal calling in today. They don't want to face the music on this. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Patrick from Delaware. How are you, brother?
All right. You got to be a little closer to the phone, though, if you don't mind.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. What's on your mind, Patrick in Delaware?
Well, there's a real simple solution to the adjudication of this is get the military tribunals what they can do.
Really? Who's that? You talking about these guys that are wearing lipstick in their fatigues? I mean, I don't know why people think that's a good idea. First off, it's not a good idea to have the military involved in the civilian government. That's number one. Number two, the military of today is very liberal and very woke. So I don't understand why so many people have trust in our military today with what we've seen going on since Obama.
Well, that's because he'll get in and he'll change the Joint Chiefs and he'll assign the correct people. And because we're dealing with a lot of treason.
Why is it? Tell me why it's a good idea to have the military involved in overseeing civilian government. That sounds dangerous to me.
Not overseeing civilian government. It's overseeing those that were in charge of the federal...
Bad idea. That's a bad idea. No, what President Trump has when he comes in is whoever his Attorney General is, which is the most important job in his second term other than his, is the Attorney General. They have U.S. attorneys throughout the country that they'll be hiring and appointing, and it's going to be up to them to seek justice, not the military.
Okay, well, in the first hour, you asked us to, in the chat, to explain what we thought this was.
No, I don't mind you, giving your opinion, but I'm just saying that's a crazy idea. And I know a lot of people say that, but that's a crazy idea.
Okay, well, but this is a communist dictatorship takeover. Mashed potato brain.
Well, but if President Trump is reelected and sworn into office in January, that's no longer the case.
And that, but you wanted to know what we thought this was going.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the call. All right. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Steve from Chicago.
Hey, Chicago.
So, you seem a little worried about if Trump can handle all this stuff.
Well, it's not that Trump can handle it. What I mean is the media and the Democrats in government would do everything they could do to make these 4 years are going to go by in the blink of an eye. And even without the justice to these lawfare criminals, it's going to be hard to get everything done that he's got to get done, which, by the way, has to conclude about 3 years in to him choosing his successor, right? Because he only has one term left. And how many balls can Trump juggle at a time?
Well, I think because he's a businessman, this is what companies do. They have different committees and all these people. That's what he does, and that's what he's used to, and he's been very successful.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel very positive that Trump can handle it all, and that's the way I feel.
Okay.
I do understand how you're like, how's he going to handle everything? He's got so much to do. And then I'm thinking, yeah, but Trump was always able to handle, because that's what.
Listen. One of the biggest things that Donald Trump is going to do, that he's promising in all of his campaign speeches, is the deportation of the illegals. That is Okay, yeah, it's great. That's millions of people. And it's going to happen, and I support that. That alone is going to consume a massive amount of energy and government and media and politicians' time. That is, you and I support it, but about half the country are going to be flipping out over it. It's not easy. So the things that we're talking about that he has to deal with are momentous. In fact, some of the biggest things that any president has ever taken on.
Yeah, but
sometimes what I'm saying is you're talking about delegating. These are some big things that just can't be delegated, and you've got to choose your battles too.
Yeah, and you're right. That's what corporation people do, but he is the ace in the corporation and doing everything. So I feel more confident that he's going to be able to handle it. And all we got to do is get the election.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I feel about other things, too. I think he needs the military.
Oh, well, that's a given. Yes, that's a given. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. I appreciate the call. All right. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? No, we didn't get past the hay. Oh, well. We're late for a break anyway. Call us on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, how's it going? Good. Oh, yeah, why wouldn't I be? Oh, it's a break. I was reading an article. I was reading something.
How's everything good?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Awesome.
I got some guy who stopped here the other day. I'll talk to you when you get off the air. He's some candidate or something.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, I'll talk to you when you get off.
Okay.
tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Callers on hold, stand by. We're talking about these new revelations out of the Mar-A-Lago raid. If you're just tuning in, the reason we're talking about the Mar-A-Lago raid from 2 years ago is because the search warrant was released unredacted yesterday, and the FBI was authorized directly by Merrick Garland, who signed off on this, to use lethal and deadly force at Mar-A-Lago during the raid. It's very upsetting. A lot of people concerned about it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Ricky from North Carolina.
Hey, Ricky, what's up?
Hey, man. I just want to say that one thing that the government has lost because of all this, and that's the American people's trust. And I know it's because all the people there are from Democratic to Republican. And, I mean, like, even if Donald Trump never goes after these people, that's one thing they'll probably never get back, is that the trust of the American people. And, and, you know, a lot of people have woken up.
Yeah, I would definitely, I agree with you. I mean, people are really, listen, people are upset for very good reason about this. I mean, this is frightening to people.
Also, can you remind me what woke means? Because I don't know what it means.
It means to be a liberal and support their liberalism. They come up with that new word, but that's what it means. It just means to be a liberal and support liberalism.
I got a YouTuber I listen to, and she's a liberal, but I listen to her for other reasons. But she gets offended because of the word woke. So I was like, why does she get offended over that? Why would she be offended over that? Like, why would that be bad to her?
Well, woke is, listen, what liberals do, and they've always done this, they're into branding and narratives. At least they think they are. So, it's climate change. It used to be global warming, so they changed it to climate change because what had happened is the temperatures changes. So global warming didn't fit the narrative, so they changed it to climate change. This thing about woke, liberalism got a very bad name. So then they started calling themselves progressives. That didn't play well, so then they started with the woke. It's just a new name for liberal. They went from liberal to progressive to woke. And I know a lot of people, sometimes I see this on some of the liberal idiots I see on TV. They're like, you can't even define woke. Define woke. It just means liberal. Of course it can be defined. And you should be offended by it because, anything that's liberal, anything that's woke is very offensive, whether it's abortion on demand or an open border or supporting this illegal war in Ukraine. I mean, that's what they're supporting, so it should upset people. So whoever you're talking about is right to be offended by liberalism, wokeism. All right? I appreciate it. Well, not better than me, I hope. I hope you like listening to me better than whoever this lady is you're talking about. A couple other things, though, that are happening right now. And what's going on today, you're going to start to see a major overload with news. And this raid thing, we've got a long weekend coming. It's Memorial Day weekend. And I will tell you this. I'm doing something this weekend that I do not do on Memorial Days. I'm going for a long drive out of town. I'm going to Jacksonville and someplace else over the weekend. And I hate driving. I'd rather fly, but the flights the times don't work out. So I'm driving to Jacksonville. Memorial Day weekend, there are more drunk drivers on the road on Memorial Day weekend than any other weekend of the year. More than New Year's and more than the 4th of July. There are more deaths on the road on Memorial Day that weekend than any other holiday of the year. It's the deadliest, especially Monday morning. Okay, because Monday morning, I have been some Mondays, and any of you that work on, and the reason it is, by the way, is Memorial Day is always on a Monday, so you have a 3-day weekend that most people turn into a 4-day weekend. So by Memorial Day, they've been drinking for the whole weekend. But there has been many a Memorial Day when I've gotten off the air, and the roads are pretty much a ghost town on Memorial Day mornings. But there's a large police presence out, especially the state troopers on Monday, Memorial Day, historically. Now watch, there won't be any on the road this year. But there always are. That's how many drunks are. So if you do not have to be on the road, don't. I'm taking this trip over the weekend because there's something that I have to do that has a limited time frame. It's something I got to do. But if I didn't have to be, I would be home, especially Sunday night and Monday morning. Very deadly, very dangerous. In fact, driving in over the years, because we're on, it's always on a Monday, so we're on the air. I have come in to work on Memorial Days for 30 years. I have seen so many deadly DUI accidents. I saw one thing I've seen a lot of, more than anything else, for the Memorial Day weekends. On the Monday Memorial Day, I'm on the road like at 5 a.m. And 5 a.m., a lot of people are coming home from parties and bars still. 5:30, they got the 5 a.m. bars that, I've seen so many times cars that have crashed into light poles, and the light pole is on top of the car. I've seen dead bodies. There was a guy I saw a few years ago. This one was really rough. And I saw two of them, one Memorial Day away from each other. One was on 441 in Parkland. The concrete light pole was on top of the car. He was sitting there dead in the car. Like he didn't even know what hit him. Police were there helping. And I saw on University and Sample Road the same thing when we had our studio over there. Another thing I've seen a lot on Memorial Day, you probably see this too, Mike, because you come in on Memorial Days, it's bad. One thing I've seen many times, this is crazy, because most people that are sober aren't out at these vampire hours on Memorial Day, 5 a.m., 4:30 in the morning. Sometimes, I don't know if we're going to be here live on Monday or not. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll decide probably Friday. This out-of-town trip I'm taking is just a day trip. I'm going up Friday and coming back Saturday. But one thing I've seen a lot over the years is a car stopped at a light and the drivers passed out. They were awake to the light, but they're at the red light and they fell asleep. I've even seen it where there's a driver and a passenger, and they're totally passed out at the red light. You ever see this? Have you ever seen that? It is crazy. And when I see things like that, I'll pull over and call the police, because that's just dangerous. Somebody could crash into them. I've seen it so many times. So anyway, I tell you this: stay off the roads if you can this weekend, especially Monday. All right, it's very bad. And when we take off on Memorial Day, usually it's because of the traffic. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Chris from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, hey, Chris. How you doing?
Oh, yeah, don't get me started on holiday shenanigans.
And Memorial Day's the worst and the most dangerous.
I can tell you stories, but you're only on for another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. Life is so precious, the little chances taken like that on the road. But I remember when red light runners were so prevalent. Every week someone was dying.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just regular driving. That's not, holiday and drinking. But I just want to say one thing. You won't say that you were wrong, but I would rather you had said, when you mentioned Democrats don't mind using their power, to me, they don't mind abusing their power.
Correct.
Right, and right in daylight, too. Come on, right in front of your face, because they get away with it.
Yeah.
Be media in their back pocket and all that. There's been billions upon billions getting us to choose a side so that right, wrong, or indifferent,
Well, listen, I'm not saying that there should not be justice done to these criminals that have been doing what they've been doing. But what I'm telling you is 4 years is such a short window, and I don't know how the second Trump administration is going to be able to do all these big things they've got to do already, and then this. You have one investigation, and it shuts down the government and consumes the media.
It's a tough spot to be in, and to be honest, I would rather if there's such a thing, do it quietly. I think his only flaw the first term was broadcasting how he was going to drain the swamp, and that kind of pissed off a lot of rhinos. Just do it. Like you said, just do it. Just start doing things. Don't announce it, and because those are the things that give a little bit of backlash.
Yeah.
The first administration. This time, there's a lot to be done, but there's so much to do if we want to save the country.
I mean, this case, Trump said yesterday if the judge would do the right thing, like dismiss it, he would have a good reputation. I don't think this judge is in a panic. There are going to be so many high-level Democrat meetings over Memorial Day weekend on how to handle this. And what they're deciding is, should they risk a jury verdict of not guilty, or should the judge come back after Memorial Day and declare a mistrial and dismiss everything, or do whatever he can do? Because they're going to sit around and decide whether or not they're going to get a conviction or an acquittal or a hung jury. And if they're and the chances are, if they think that there's a possibility of an acquittal, I would think they would tell the judge to intervene and stop that. They don't want an acquittal.
Oh, yeah, these are very desperate people. You're right on the money. I mean, yeah, they'll be strategizing from here to by the time,
Yeah, I mean, I think they shouldn't take the weekend off. I think the judge should give it to the jury. They should sit there through Memorial Day weekend and let's get this done. But they need that. But the lawfare crowd of the Uniparty are still deciding how to handle this, and that gives them 4 or 5 more days.
Great abusers of.
That's right. All right. Listen, I got to take our break, but thanks for the call. We'll be right back.
Hard Truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the...
All right. Welcome back. And it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals looking good, giving us a little bit of a buying opportunity. After yesterday, we saw a $5 decrease in price of gold, going down and testing that $2,400 number, which is very important. Once we break through some of these areas of resistance and new numbers, you want to build a support area for these rather than just keep going up and then come crashing down. So this gold has been acting very healthy over the last months as we've seen these gains taking place, establishing some floors and ceilings and then going through those and building on a nice ladder of higher prices. And that's what we're seeing here. Gold right now, yesterday closing at $2,420.80, which was down $5.10 after trading in a range of $2,405 to $2,434. Silver was up 13 cents yesterday, closing at $31.93 the ounce, hitting a high of $32.56. Platinum gained $5, closing at $1,052, and palladium was down $1 at $1,013. As I said, the buying opportunity today is pulled back about $9.80 right now on gold. That's at $2,411 the ounce overnight, trading in a range of $2,404 on the low and $2,427 on the high. Silver down 29 cents right now at $31.65 the ounce. Platinum up $1 at $1,053. And palladium down $25 at $988 the ounce. So good opportunity to maybe take advantage of a little bit of a dip, which is all we've seen all the way up.
Absolutely.
To rally. So any kind of little dip like this gives us a buying opportunity to say.
No doubt. I wanted to talk to you just for a moment, though, about gold bars. You know, this Senator Menendez is in the news. He's the one that took the bribes with the gold bars, and they were showing some of the gold bars in the courtroom yesterday. And the reason I bring this up to you is, you know, not all bars are equal, and the bars that you offer, both gold, silver. Tell people about the bars that you offer to customers and why those are the ones people want to buy as opposed to just random gold and silver bars.
Gold bars that are by the top manufacturers in the world that are traded worldwide, and these are all bars that are 4 nines fine, 999. gold pure, and they're numbered and carded so that you know exactly what you're getting and the manufacturer of those bars. And as I said, they're traded worldwide. So
yeah,
that's important.
It is very important because not all bars are the same. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Stop in if you can at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just south, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, just east of US 1 Federal Highway. You can give him a call at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, and online, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great...
All right, we'll be right back. All right, it sure is. And let's go back to our busy phones, 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Diane.
Hi, Diane.
What I would like to say, I would like to make a comment on Monday morning, Memorial Day. Please, if you're a patriot, if you're whatever you are, if you're a U.S. citizen, or please go to a service on Monday morning. It's about the fallen soldiers. There's many, many services across the country. Every town has service at a cemetery, a national cemetery. Many have them at statues, etc. So to tell people not to go out on Monday.
There's more drunks. No, I'm sorry. We don't want to add. There are more drunks on the road on Memorial Day. Excuse me. I thought I was talking. Can I let me talk. I mean, my goodness. There are more drunks on the road. Oh my gosh. This is another divorced woman. I mean, come on. Another divorced woman. Listen, there are more drunks on the road on Monday morning Memorial Day than any other day of the year.
Thanksgiving Eve is the worst.
No, it is not. And the reason I know that is, well, it's hard to say anything when you won't stop talking, all right? But the reason I know that is because for many years we had an advertiser on the station, attorney Richard Essen, and he was a DUI attorney. He never lost a case. He's passed away. And he was the leading expert in America on drunk driving. He had the breathalyzer in his office. You give him a number, and he could breathe it. So he was a leading expert on drunk drivers, and he would tell. Am I annoying you? Are you annoyed? I mean, is it me or is it men? Which? And let me finish. And he would tell us that the day after Memorial Day was his busiest day of the year because there were more DUI arrests that weekend than any other day of the year. So that's where I get it from.
Why wouldn't you bring your family to a service? I was raised by two World War II veterans.
Okay, you're my hero. Okay, blah blah blah. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Maybe I'm going to start drinking for Memorial Day early. Talking to her. Gee whiz. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian.
I'm trying to give some people some advice so they don't end up dead. And she wants you all out on the road. You know, I mean, is she that liberal lady that was giving me a hard time yesterday? Is she trying to get MAGA people killed? I don't know. What's on your mind, JJ?
Well,
boy, oh boy.
I was going to talk about President Trump.
Yes.
When he's elected.
Yes.
And what needs to be done. And I think the most important thing, and it's not a binary choice, I mean, but the most important thing is that there is a clear and an undeniable difference, which I believe there will again for the second time. The economy and all these types of things, the things that all the minorities that are coming, that are realizing the injustice and the insanity of this communist government we have right now, with the gas prices, the food, the inflation. Trump needs to, number one, he's the businessman, he needs to get this country back on track so that everybody can see the difference in gas prices, in food, in jobs, etc. Maybe we get rid of the Fed. you'll be able to laugh in their face and say, listen, Donald Trump delivered. Biden was too busy collecting 10% if he could even remember where the hell he was going. So that's what I think is...
Well, you're right. Inflation's pretty bad. Yesterday on Twitter, there was this price chart circulating for McDonald's, Taco Bell, and Chick-fil-A, comparing prices to 2019 till today. And the prices have increased, doubled, more than doubled in many cases on just fast food. People know the inflation's hitting people pretty hard.
Yeah. I used to think, I'm 61 now, I'm thinking maybe the last 25 years or so I've figured out a few things. I used to think the elections were about, getting in power and running the country, and to me it seems like it's been a lot more about who gets to steal more. Will steal more, and they never prosecute each other because they're all snakes in the same house.
Well, with the unipart. Well, that's what I've been talking about in this hour. I agree with that, but you can see how that's going to would dominate the entire 4 years is nothing, and look at how much Trump's got to do in 4 years.
So much going on, Brian. There'll be so much going on that I think the media, with all the good things that are going to be happening,
it won't be good from their eyes, though. It'll be good to us, but not to them.
They'll be sort of a dying, shriveling piece of fruit. The liars, the truth has come. Basically, the truth is.
Think about. Just the deportations. They're going to have people lying on the roads, trying to stop the deportation buses with their bodies. You understand what this is going to be like in the next 4 years?
But they're going to, and Brian, even the minorities that are here, they came legally. And there's going to be so many people applauding this taking place. Yeah, they're going to make it look as bad as they can.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they always do. None of that's going to change. It's the fact that people have woken up to the...
See, liberals, I'm going to tell you how bad liberals are. That caller before you, I went on this whole explanation of how dangerous it is to be on the road. You could get killed on Memorial Day because of the drunks. This liberal lady calls up, and she's trying to get liberals to go out on the road. She's trying to get, MAGA people to go out on the road. That's what that call was. Liberal woman, she's trying to get MAGA people to go out on the road on Memorial Day so they'll get killed. That was the last caller before you. These are evil people. These are sick people you're dealing with.
On Memorial Day, for me, for many years, over the past 10, I've only done it a couple times, but I almost always played taps at Real Bridge.
Oh, okay.
From when I was 10 years old. I would always play taps at the bridge at the Ammonoosuc River, right in front of St. Patrick's Church.
Oh, my goodness. On what instrument?
Trumpet.
Oh, my goodness. You play the trumpet? Oh, my goodness. Wow, that's pretty wild. That sounds pretty cool. All right, take care, JJ. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
This is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
But important decision for Trump to make with all of this is the Attorney General.
That's right.
Jeff Sessions was in there. Jeff Sessions recused himself. It was Stephen Miller who was buddy-buddy with him. Jared Kushner also selected him. Steve Miller was great on immigration, but he was terrible on this Attorney General. And then they put Billy Bush Barr in there, family, which was the craziest decision that I've ever heard in my life.
Actually, that one wasn't. But they brought Barr in because he was personal friends with Robert Mueller, and Mueller was looking. He was what is it with the callers today? Let me listen. We got a few minutes left. You don't have to talk like Ben Shapiro fast here, okay? They brought Barr in because Mueller couldn't end the investigation with saving face. They brought him in so he could end the Mueller investigation. It was a calculated tactical decision. It was not a stupid mistake. It ended the Mueller investigation, bringing Barr in.
Right, it's personnel decisions, and I know people recommend people to Trump. He can't sit around and make every one of them, but Steve Bannon's working on stuff of having 2,000 people lined up to put him into position.
Yeah,
we need to go in and clean out the FBI. Of the FBI, he's in charge of everything. Eric Holder did whatever the hell.
That entire Washington Bureau of the FBI, all the way down to the janitors and cleaning ladies, needs to be dissolved. And they need to find some guys that are in the worst postings you can have in the FBI because they're not connected, and put them in charge. Right? Like whoever's in charge of Nome.
Guys.
All right, take care. Appreciate the call. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Owen.
Yes.
So I want to know, too,
Oh, here we go.
why is Trump afraid to debate Biden?
He's not. He's not.
Why won't Trump testify at his own trial?
Well, I'll answer. First off, he's agreed to debate Joe Biden, Donald Trump. Second, there's no need for him to testify. The prosecution's case is weak, and you are not required to testify against yourself in a case because the defense is won. Why should he get on the stand and drag this out another few weeks?
But he's kept saying he's going to testify.
Yeah, well, he didn't know how bad the prosecution's case was going to be.
Oh, boy, baloney.
Okay.
Chicken,
He's a chicken. Okay, he's a chicken. All right, Marty McFly. You think that's going to get him to testify if you call him chicken? If he's a chicken, what are you? What would you describe yourself as? If he's a chicken, what are you?
I would testify for...
No, that's not an object or an animal. All right, hey, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow at 6.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar.
Oh, my gosh. All right, hey, listen. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And everyone who's already subscribed, like the video. I'll see you guys later, all right? Take care.